A little while back, there was an evening when I was sitting in my car in the driveway, the engine off, the day finally over, and out of nowhere, my eyes filled up. Nothing in particular had happened. It was just a kind of tiredness, the kind that doesn't have words for itself.
That moment, every practitioner has had it somewhere along the way.
Dear fellow practitioners, welcome. Today we are going to study together a very tender teaching song from one of the most beloved teachers in our tradition.
Hello everyone, I'm Amy.
Today we will be reading and feeling our way through a transmission from Nanping Jidian, also known to many of us as Jigong, the living Buddha. The text we have in front of us is a presiding verse and a sacred song called Disciples Don't Cry.
Leo, even just those 3 words, disciples don't cry. When I first read them, my eyes got warm. Before there was any teaching, there was already someone saying, I see you.
That's right. The teacher did not begin by giving us a doctrine. The teacher began by seeing our tears. But after seeing them, where does the teacher want to take us? That is the path we are going to walk together for the next half hour.
Let me first read out the presiding verse from our teacher today. Step by step, putting strength into every step. In due order, the fruit ripens of itself. The awakening path is the path itself. Cultivating oneself, taking the sages as the way.
Thank you, Amy. Let us pause on the first line. Step by step, putting strength into every step. Dear fellow practitioners, why does the teacher open with step by step? Because the teacher understands us too well. The moment we hear the word cultivation, what usually rises in our mind is, I want to reach some state quickly. I want to be enlightened sooner. I want to be a certain kind of person. What we want is almost always one big leap.
That is exactly me. I think, well, if I am going to practice, I had better practice in a big, dramatic way. I will read one book and expect a great awakening the same afternoon.
But the teacher says, step by step, putting strength into the step. The word strength is heavy here. Not floating through the steps, not just thinking about the steps, really putting yourself into the one step that is yours right now. Dear fellow practitioners, have you noticed, in the instant a thought rises, are you willing to pause for just 1 second and look at it clearly? That 1 second pause, that is a step. The second line, in due order, the fruit ripens of itself. The phrase ripens of itself, let me linger here. The teacher did not say the fruit is obtained or the fruit is achieved. The teacher said, ripens of itself.
Ripens of itself. It sounds as though something is already there, just slowly showing itself.
Amy, that instinct is exactly right. In the Tao Te Ching, chapter 48, Lao Tzu wrote, in the pursuit of learning, every day something is added. In the pursuit of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Dropped and dropped, until one arrives at non-doing. Learning is a process of adding. Cultivation is a process of subtracting. Subtracting what? Subtracting all the things that are not really yours. The impatience, the comparison, the script that says, I should be like this. When the subtracting is done, what was always whole quietly comes into view.
So ripens of itself is not about cultivating some new ripeness. It is about peeling back, layer by layer, the things that were blocking the ripeness that was already there.
Yes, and that is what in due order really means. Only when one step is genuinely walked does the next step have meaning. The third line, the awakening path is the path itself. The phrase awakening path comes from the Sanskrit word bodhi, which simply means awake. Awake to what? Awake to the rising and falling of your own thoughts, your own intentions, your own reactions.
So the awakening path is the path of coming back to your own heart and seeing each thought as it rises.
That is it. Dear fellow practitioners, there is something subtle in this line. The teacher did not say the awakening is the destination. The teacher said the awakening is the path, which means the spot where you are standing right now, this is the path. You do not have to walk to some distance somewhere to find awakening. The very act of looking in this moment is already the awakening. The fourth line, cultivating oneself, taking the sages as the way. Dear fellow practitioners, the key here is oneself. Who is being cultivated? You, not someone else, not the group, not your family. You.
But Leo, what I least want to look at is often myself. To see my own temper, my own grudges, my own dodges, that is uncomfortable.
Amy, that is very honest. The first step in cultivating oneself is not fix yourself. The first step is be willing to see yourself. Willingness to see matters far more than ability to change. The moment you genuinely see, in that very moment, the one who is doing the seeing is not the temper, not the grudge. The one who is doing the seeing is the sage waking up inside you.
Thank you, Leo, for unwrapping the presiding verse. Now let us step into the sacred song itself. Disciples, don't cry.
When I first read the lyrics of this song, I did not immediately have anything to say. I just sat with them for a while. Because the tone of the song sounds like a teacher who has actually seen a disciple crying. The first line, open the window of your life, let in unlimited hope. Dear fellow practitioners, the teacher did not say, open the door of your life. The teacher said, open the window. What is the difference between a door and a window? A door is for coming and going. A window is for letting light in.
That changes how I hear it. So the teacher is not asking us to make some big change right away. Just let the light in?
Yes. Dear fellow practitioners, in your most tired moment, the moment Amy was just describing, the moment in the driveway, the eyes welling up for no reason, the teacher is not asking you to do anything. The teacher is asking one thing of you. Crack the window open. Even just one thought. I am tired. I admit I am tired. That alone, that is already opening the window. The second line, put down every desire, take the sages as your model. Dear fellow practitioners, every desire is a wide net. Not only the desire for money or the desire for fame, also the desire to be acknowledged, the desire to feel like you are making progress, the desire to prove that this whole long path has not been wasted.
That reminds me of something. A few weeks ago, I was in a planning meeting for a community group I help with. I suggested an idea, a way to reach out to people who were new, and the senior coordinator gently turned it down. In the moment, I said, of course, no problem. But on the drive home, I noticed I was replaying that 5 minutes over and over. I kept asking myself, did I say it badly? Did I make her uncomfortable?
And then?
And then I caught myself. What I was actually upset about was not whether the group would have a better outreach plan. It was whether I had been seen as smart. The moment I noticed that, something in my chest ached a little, but also softened. I had been telling myself the whole time that I was serving the work, but honestly, a good part of me had been waiting to be noticed.
Thank you, Amy, for that honesty.
Dear fellow practitioners, this is the most subtle layer of put down every desire. Desire is not only the coarse kind. There is also that very fine thread, hiding underneath what we most pride ourselves as selfless service. Seeing it is not about blaming yourself. It is just seeing. And once it is seen, that desire stops quietly running the show.
The third and fourth lines, only cultivation can unwind the net of dust. The burden is heavy, the road is long. With firm will, obstacles can be broken through. The phrase net of dust is vivid. Dear fellow practitioners, have you had this experience? You know clearly that something does not matter, and yet you cannot let it go. You know clearly that a certain thought is not helping, and yet it keeps coming back. That know clearly but cannot let go, that is the net of dust.
So the net is not outside of us. We are the ones weaving it?
Yes, and the phrase, the burden is heavy, the road is long. Our teacher is borrowing directly from Confucius's student Zeng Zi, from the Analects, book Tai Bo, where Zeng Zi says, the scholar must be broad-minded and resolute. The burden is heavy, the road is long. To take goodness as one's own burden, is that not heavy? To carry it until death, is that not far? What was Zeng Zi getting at? He was saying, a real practitioner takes the care of all beings as a personal responsibility, a weight that cannot be transferred to anyone else, a road that lasts a lifetime.
When I hear until death, something inside me gets very quiet. We so often think, let me practice up to a certain level and that will be enough. Let me get through this busy season and then I will really start. But Zeng Zi is saying, until the last breath, you are still walking.
Yes, and so the next line, with firm will, obstacles can be broken through, follows very naturally. Obstacle is rarely just the external difficulty. Most of the time, the obstacle is the inner one, the tiredness, the self-doubt, the why is it always me thought. A firm will is not muscling through. A firm will is because you have clearly seen that this path is worth walking. When the obstacle arrives, the thought does not carry you away. The fifth line, riding the long wind, breaking 10,000 waves, ferrying countless lambs across. The word lambs, I stopped on it for a long while when I first read it. Why does the teacher use the word lambs?
Maybe because lambs are soft and need looking after?
That is one angle. The lamb is actually a shared image across traditions. In Christianity, there is the lost sheep, the shepherd who leaves the 99 to look for the one. In the Buddhist way of speaking, there is all beings as those waiting to be ferried across. When the teacher uses this word, the teacher is reminding us, this path is not a solo path. Behind you, ahead of you, beside you, there are people lost, people weeping, people waiting for someone to turn around and see them.
But Leo, I often think, I can barely take care of myself. How am I supposed to help anyone else?
Amy, every practitioner asks this question. Dear fellow practitioners, notice the teacher's exact words. Riding the long wind, breaking 10,000 waves. The teacher is not asking you to push the boat by your own strength. The long wind, what is it? It is the way of heaven itself. It is the compassion of all the awakened teachers. It is the long lineage that has carried this path from the ancients down to you. You are not pushing. You are giving yourself to that wind and letting it take you where you need to go. The sixth line, this is the line in the whole song with the highest spiritual weight. Step by step, recognize the principle and practice. In non-doing, there is no illusion.
Even reading in non-doing, there is no illusion. Those words feel heavy.
Yes. Dear fellow practitioners, in the Diamond Sutra, there is a famous passage. All appearances are illusory. When one sees that appearances are not what they appear to be, in that very moment, one sees the awakened one. What is Shakyamuni Buddha saying? He is saying, every appearance you can see, hear, or imagine, including
Am I making progress? Am I a good practitioner? What does that person think of me? These are all illusion. He is not saying they do not exist. He is saying they are not who you truly are.
That makes me think of a stretch I went through not long ago. I kept asking myself, am I actually making any progress? Day after day felt the same. The impatience was still there. The habit of comparing was still there. Then I came to this line. Step by step, recognize the principle and practice. In non-doing, there is no illusion. And something turned. The feeling I was looking for, the feeling of being someone who is making progress, was itself another kind of grasping.
Amy, what you saw there is precious. Dear fellow practitioners, non-doing is not doing nothing. It is acting without a heart that needs to prove something. Step by step, recognize the principle. What principle? The principle that I do this thing because it is the thing that needs doing, not because it makes me feel good, not because it gets me seen. When even the desire to feel like you are making progress is laid down, then finally, you are practicing in non-doing. Speaking of which, I would like to say one more thing here to all of you.
Yes.
The song we are reading today, the teacher does not give us a single line of teaching that you have to figure out. The teacher speaks to people who are really weeping, really doubting, really tired. If anything you have heard so far feels even a little useful, please help us with one thing. Like the episode, subscribe to Compassionate Words from the Buddhas, and share it with someone in your life who is also weeping, also doubting, also tired. Let more people be caught in the moment their heart breaks quietly by this same compassion from our teacher.
Thank you for walking with us. We will keep walking together.
Good. Let us continue. The 7th and 8th lines. What cannot be forgotten, what hurt cuts so deep. Keep walking forward. Do not look back. These 2 lines hold the heaviest feeling in the whole song. The teacher does not give us an answer. The teacher only asks, what is it that cannot be forgotten? What is the hurt that cuts deep?
I think every practitioner would answer differently.
Yes, that is why the teacher does not answer for us. The teacher gives the question back to each of us. Dear fellow practitioners, if you close your eyes right now, on this path of yours, what is it that you must not forget? Is it the first moment you stepped onto this path? Is it the patience of someone who walked beside you when you were brand new? Is it a particular silent moment when something landed deeply in your heart? And what about the hurt that nearly broke you? Was it a misunderstanding? Was it the giving that was never returned? Was it the family member who did not understand? And immediately after, the teacher says, keep walking forward, do not look back. Dear fellow practitioners, notice carefully. The teacher does not say forget the hurt. The teacher says keep walking. Those are 2 different things.
That is true. Forgetting tries to erase it. Keep walking leaves it where it is. And you keep going.
Yes. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 9, verse 62, Jesus says, no one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. A farmer with one hand on the plow and eyes constantly looking behind, the furrow he cuts will be crooked. Practice is the same. Dear fellow practitioners, you do not have to pretend the hurt did not happen, but you cannot let looking back become the reason you stop walking.
I think of a moment from a few months ago. I had organized a small gathering. I had prepared materials for 3 weeks. The day arrived. 2 people came. One of them left early. As I was stacking the chairs afterward, I nearly cried. A thought rose. The teacher said ferry countless lambs across, and right now I cannot even hold the attention of 2.
And then?
And then I thought, did the teacher ever promise that many people would show up today? No. The teacher said keep walking, so I finished stacking the chairs. On the drive home, the car was very quiet. There was a small ache inside the quiet, but I did not look back.
The 9th line. Set your mind firmly. When you meet setbacks, still stand up on your own. Still strengthen yourself. Dear fellow practitioners, the most important phrase here is set your mind firmly. Why? Because setbacks will come. If your decision to walk this path was based on the assumption that you probably will not face setbacks, then the first setback will collapse you.
So setting the mind firmly means preparing in advance. Even if there are setbacks, I am still walking?
Yes, and stand up on your own, strengthen yourself does not mean do not rely on the teachers or on the practitioners around you. It means within the company of the teachers, within the support of the elders, the strength inside you has to grow. You cannot forever wait for someone else to lift you up.
The 10th line. Carry the responsibility. The heavens move with vigor. Continue what the sages began. Pass it on to those yet to come. The phrase, the heavens move with vigor, is borrowed directly from the Book of Changes, the image commentary on the hexagram Qian. The original line is, the heavens move with vigor. The noble person, accordingly, ceaselessly strengthens the self.
What does the heavens move with vigor actually mean?
The heavens, the universe, the way of heaven, the movement of all things, it has one quality. It moves with steady vigor, without exhaustion. The sun rises every day. The moon waxes and wanes every month. The heavens have never once said, "Today I am tired. I will skip a day." Dear fellow practitioners, when the teacher says carry the responsibility, the heavens move with vigor, the meaning is, your carrying is not you alone, gritting your teeth. When you genuinely shoulder what is yours to shoulder, you are moving in rhythm with the whole universe. And there is something more subtle here. The vigor of the heavens. It is not only outside you, in the sun and the seasons. There is a quiet version of that same vigor already inside you. It is the part of you that has been with you since before you could speak. It does not get tired the way your body gets tired. It does not get discouraged the way your mind gets discouraged. When the teacher says, carry with vigor, the teacher is reminding you, you already have, deep inside, exactly what is needed. You only need to stop covering it over with the busy mind and let it move you.
Hearing it that way, the weight on my shoulders feels different. Not lighter exactly, but companied. And not only companied from outside, but companied from within.
Yes, and the phrase, continue what the sages began, pass it on to those yet to come. That is also important. The sages walked this road before you. What you are walking now is a leg of the relay, one baton passed to you, and you in turn will hand it to those coming after. You are not alone. You are one runner in a long line, stretching from the ancient ones into the future. The last 2 lines. Let go of empty fame. Do not be lost any longer. Carry responsibility with care. Leave behind a true name, recorded in the chronicles of history. Dear fellow practitioners, are not these 2 lines contradicting each other? The teacher says in one line, let go of fame, then in the next says, leave behind a name.
When I first read them, I was confused too.
The teacher is actually being very precise. What is empty fame? It is the kind of doing where the engine is, I want to be seen, I want to be acknowledged. What is true name? It is the kind of doing where the engine is, this matters, this is mine to do, and then a record is naturally left behind.
So the part to let go of is, I want to be seen. The part that stays is, this was actually walked.
Yes, dear fellow practitioners, the key word in these two lines is with care. Carry responsibility with care does not mean be so cautious that you do not dare to act. It means every time you take up a responsibility, you carry it with awareness. This time, why am I carrying this? Is it to be seen, or is it because it actually needs carrying? Just asking that question, that itself is the practice.
I am noticing now, that whole story I told earlier about replaying the 5 minutes in the car after my idea got turned down, that is the test of this very line, landing in my life.
Yes, Amy. And the moment you saw it clearly, that was you letting go of empty fame.
Good. We have walked through the whole song. Before this episode closes, I would like to leave one question with each of you.
Of all the responsibilities you are currently carrying, how much of them is genuine calling, and how much of them is the wish to be seen? You do not need to answer right away. Carry the question home with you and ask it of yourself when it is quiet.
Just letting the question stay open is already the beginning.
So this week, I want to invite each of you to one practice. From today until next week at this time, when you notice yourself doing a thing, whether it is service at the gathering, giving at home, effort at work, and inside there is a small, almost invisible thread of, I hope this gets noticed. Please do just one thing. Pause for a second. See it. Do not blame yourself. Do not suppress it. Just see it. After you have seen it, please share what you noticed in the comments below this episode. We will read each one. Let us walk this with you.
I will be practicing it this week too. We can do it together.
If today's sharing brought you any light, please like this episode, subscribe to the show, and share it with someone in your life who is also tired, also weeping, also doubting. Let our teacher's compassion in Disciples Don't Cry reach more practitioners who need it. That is where my own learning ends today. If anything was explained poorly or anything was said inappropriately, I ask the compassion of the heavens, of all the sages, and of the awakened ones to forgive me. Gratitude for the grace of heaven and virtue of teachers. Thank you, fellow practitioners. We will meet again in the next episode.
Gratitude for the grace of heaven and virtue of teachers. Thank you, fellow practitioners. See you next time.